All right, this is Easter Sunday, Grand Canyon Village, 2020. Maranatha, he is risen. Just doing a little documentation here. I did a video earlier, but it didn't turn out too well, of just how empty this place feels. My son and I are bored, so we're taking a little de-isolation trip, which is probably dumb, but yeah, normally there'd be people walking along this path here, people out and about. There'd be a train parked here probably with a couple hundred people dishing out. There's a few cars parked around for employees that are still working, though it's at a very diminished capacity at this point. Normally there'd be tons of cars here. It's just amazing kind of doing this just for posterity. I bet other people have done it as well, but just to show what it looked like when no one was here at the Grand Canyon. I know some. We'll go back. We're just gonna take a quick spin. This is the El Tovar Hotel. It is closed. I don't know if it's ever been closed in recent history, but this parking lot, like normally, and again, the only reason we're able to come up here is we live in Grand Canyon Village. But this parking lot, I mean, normally it's hard to find a parking spot, and it's just totally empty. I'd love to run out to the rim here and get some pictures for you. Maybe I'll do that real quick. Some rain coming in. Yeah, my son's in here. I'm not gonna do that, but last time I was out, I did see some locals. Locals are allowed to go out and hike along the rim. We can't go into the rim. That's closed. Kind of the history of what happened up here with the COVID virus, just so everybody knows. Do a little history here. Is the higher ups at first didn't. There's another car, another local. I think, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna head towards the school playground. But they wouldn't allow the park to close. But what happened is Delaware North and Xanterra, both vendors, closed all their operations. And then the Canyon, I think the local, she wasn't a superintendent, but she was an acting superintendent, started closing down a lot of the park services. So eventually it became like you can still come up to the Grand Canyon, and then the train closed after that coming up. But you can't, or at least up to this south rim here, but there's no services for you. There's no hotels here. There's no place to go to the bathroom. There's no the store. That was one of the big arguments for closing the park, was that the store, we were competing with tourists for food, which was limited. Medical resources here are very small, so if the pandemic did hit here hard, yeah, like normally this is all crowded here. If the pandemic hit hard, we would, this is only, yeah. Our medical resources, the little clinic here, which has great people, they do a great job, but it's very small. It's not, it used to be a hospital at one point, but not anymore. So it's just a clinic, and if something broke out here, it would have been overwhelmed. Plus the whole thing where we, here at the Grand Canyon, we mix with people from all over the world, and they mix with us. So it's kind of an infection point where the main good arguments, I thought that things should have been closed down earlier. Yeah, like this. On a day like today, there'd normally be, a couple hundred people here kind of milling around, waiting for the bus, people wandering around, nothing, ghost town. But yeah, eventually they did close the park, and the people that live here were pretty happy about that. They're sad that the park was closed. I mean, most of the people that live up here are all about keeping the park open and allow. Here's an elk here. I've seen a lot of them. More of them are coming in the park now. I don't know if you can see it there, kind of camo. Oh, there's the one with the bell on her head. They've got a tracker on her. I forgot her name, Betsy or something. and she gets kind of mean now because they put the tracker on her, which I feel bad for. But this is coming up on Maswick Lodge, and again, close quarters here, so it was good to close the park. And I think what Xanterra did here is a lot of people, or they did lay off all their employees, but they allowed them to stay here. There's a security guard cruising around, rent free, and they also initially I think they gave them free meals. Xanterra still might be giving them free meals like once or twice a day. Delaware North also laid off most of their employees. They do have some that are keeping the store open, which is awesome. Again, similar thing where they kept the dorms open, allowed people to stay for free, but unfortunately there is one case of COVID that's confirmed there. They did deep clean, so hopefully there won't be any more, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll go up this way. So yeah, it looks there's mules down that way. They're still here, but it looks like they took a bunch of them, maybe to Williams or Flagstaff or something. So yeah, they didn't close it down quite enough to keep the park completely COVID free, but so far, there's been a couple people who may have had it. The testing's kind of hit or miss, whether it's accurate or not. They had all the symptoms, but their initial test eventually came back negative. But I mean, who knows? But we did have one positive case, and it's still ongoing. There's still issues. But yeah, the residents, everyone's mostly inside, probably where we should be, hunkering down. Some people aren't. Spitting the virus. But yeah, it's just crazy how empty everything is. It's amazing. So school here closed fairly early on, so everybody's got their kids home. The child care place closed. I think there might have been a case of COVID over here, I'm not sure. But yeah, everybody here is just kind of hunkering down in this empty place. Some people are honoring social distancing, some people aren't. I'm gonna take my kid to the playground, which normally I wouldn't want to do, but he's going out of his mind, so we'll just wash our hands real good coming out, and hopefully we'll be okay. Plus it's gonna rain here in a minute. But yeah, here's what it looked like. Rec Center I think is still open, but you can't buy snacks or anything there. It's mostly open just because there's a lot of people stuck here that don't really have internet, so they've got their phones and stuff. They can go in there and get on Wi-Fi. If they don't have 4G, you gotta have the right provider up here, otherwise you're kind of stuck, at least at this point in time when this video was made, without internet. So yeah, pretty crazy.